Hello, this is Dr. Marty Klein with another video quickie. Almost everyone seems to have questions about porn. Here are answers to some of those common questions that you won't find in most other places. For example, why do I say that the real issue is masturbation, not porn? Virtually nobody watches porn without masturbating. And these days, almost all men who masturbate watch porn while they do. So the real complaint of some women isn't actually about watching porn, it's about masturbating and watching porn. The first question in any conversation about porn should be, well, if you don't like him watching porn, are you okay with him masturbating without porn? If the answer is no, we can stop pretending that the conversation is about porn, it's about masturbation. One supposed proof that men get addicted to porn is how miserable they are when they're deprived of it, or how they promise they'll stop watching porn but can't seem to keep their promise. Well, here's a simple test that demolishes those proofs of porn addiction. Ask a man to give up porn, but let him masturbate all he wants. That task is way less difficult. Or try this thought experiment. Give a man a choice. If you had to give up either porn or masturbation for a year, which would you give up? For practically every man, it's a no-brainer. Of the two, they'd give up porn. Couples in conflict about sex should talk more about masturbation and less about porn. Another question. What is the broccoli ice cream hypothesis? Well, that's the common belief that when men aren't as intimate or sexual as their partners desire, it's because they're supposedly getting their needs met by masturbating to porn. Therefore, to increase their interest in intimacy and sex, these men need to stop masturbating to porn. I call this the broccoli ice cream hypothesis because it's similar to the idea that if you want someone to eat more broccoli, you should take away their ice cream. Obviously, that doesn't work. No one leaves a thriving, intimate, or sexual relationship just to spend a ton of time masturbating to porn. Men who aren't intimate or sexual either aren't interested, which their mate often denies for a long time, or they just don't know how, and taking away porn won't teach them. Or maybe they're angry, anxious, or depressed, none of which is fixed by removing porn from their lives. Question. Doesn't a woman get to decide if her partner's porn watching is a betrayal? Actual betrayal is bad, and feeling betrayed is an awful experience, whether the betrayal is real or not. Now, various women across America have decided that if their guy watches porn, it's a betrayal. I ask, a betrayal of what? I think the following would be a more accurate description of many women's experience. You watch porn? I feel disappointed. I feel surprised. I feel sad. I feel confused. I feel lonely. I feel resentful. When someone has the belief that people only watch porn if they don't find their sweetheart attractive, or the sex satisfying, or the relationship meaningful, I'm very sympathetic. Anyone would feel terrible believing that their partner feels this way. But betrayal? Betrayal of what? Of an agreement that two people never actually made? For those who say that every adult woman gets to decide what exactly constitutes betrayal, whether it makes sense or not, I simply ask, well, what if a guy decided it was a betrayal that his wife reads romance novels, or belongs to the Lin-Manuel Miranda fan club, or slept with a lot of guys before they married? Would we say that's his problem or hers? If you say that women get to define betrayal but men don't, we're not talking about porn anymore. Question. What is ethical porn? Well, according to those who promote it, so-called ethical porn is made consensually, it shows diversity, it contains no surprises for the cast, and it shows female pleasure. In other words, most porn. Supporters of ethical porn say that its production also pays performers fairly and documents real pleasure rather than acted pleasure. In other words, its standards are completely different from all other performing arts. I think it's great when consumers want to watch porn that's made 100% consensually, in which performers and crew are treated well. But I wonder if this concern extends to the other artistic products that they consume. What about ethical dance companies? Dancers are dramatically underpaid, overworked, expected to have unhealthy bodies, and often perform through pain. The same is true for college athletes, except they're not just underpaid, they aren't paid at all. What about ethical schools? There isn't a public elementary school in this country where teachers are paid a reasonable wage, are treated decently by their administration, and respected by the community, which strangles them financially and politically. What about ethical software and hardware? Now, engineers are not underpaid, but I can assure you, having worked in Silicon Valley for over 30 years, that they are expected to work absolutely inhuman hours. Apple, Google, Adobe, YouTube, Microsoft, I'm talking about you now, as well as your suppliers and your competitors. Ethical groceries, ethical clothing, ethical anything made in China. When people critique the alleged problematic production of porn, out of all the goods and services that we all consume every year, they're essentially saying they don't like porn, which is okay, but why not just say it in an honest way? Question: doesn't a woman have a right to a porn-free home? A woman has a right to say, I won't live with you if you watch porn, the same way she has the right to say, I won't live with you if you smoke cigars or have a pet alligator. But unless this was explicitly discussed before they moved in together, and it never is, where would she get the right to decide this about their joint home? America is filled with women insisting that their guys stop watching porn. He says, okay, he continues to do it secretly, and then he gets caught. Now, he's not just a porn watcher, not a bad thing, he's also a liar, a bad thing. When women give a man an ultimatum, stop looking at porn or we're finished, they generally don't think, well, okay, look at porn, but lie and tell me you don't, as a viable option. Men shouldn't think so either. But just as most women don't want to live in a home where their mate insists he has the right to tell them what they're allowed to do, neither do most men. Everyone has a right to be safe from domestic violence, and everyone has a right to expect the truth from their partner. After that, it's all negotiable. So if you want, negotiate. And again, that's not about porn, that's about power. Well, I'm Dr. Marty Klein. Thanks for joining me. Oh, if you like this video, I publish them, every few weeks. Just click on the red subscribe button at the bottom of your screen, and you'll get pinged whenever I publish a new one. Thanks.